I think people are wanting something to do. I think in this moment, we all are beginning to recognize what has been happening to people in this country, especially people of color, black people, in various systems.
That was NCCJ Executive Director Ivan Canada last summer. NCCJ's 846 series led people through training to get them to begin to think about racism that plays out around them.
Welcome everyone as you're coming into our webinar. Happy to have you.
Recently, they hosted The Story of Race, how we got here and what we can do about it.
And so we wanted this second part to really be sort of hands-on, that people are walking away from these webinars to be able to have one or two things that they could actually put into practice that will begin to do something differently within their organizations or within their communities.
After Derek Chauvin was convicted of murdering George Floyd,
then I thought about the job that I have to do as a police chief and every police officer has to do, because
they led a three-part series on community policing and where do we go from here.
It's been a year of awareness for a lot of people, you know, and so I think those are people who maybe before were maybe sitting on the sidelines and maybe felt like this isn't stuff I need to be thinking about, like, you know, issues of race don't sort of come up in my life.
I think to begin to discuss that, I needed a sense of what are some guidelines? What are some things I need to know about myself that get in the way? And what are some ways I can be a better listener and actually be willing to ask questions that are hard to ask sometimes.
Melanie Woodard got answers through NCCJ. She says it's uncomfortable but necessary to take the risk that comes with talking about race.
Honestly, it's me as a white person, if I can say that white people have to talk about this stuff. We have to not go, that's somebody else's issue. And we have to be willing to say, how do we get underneath our cultural stuff we've just soaked in over the years to really get at the heart of what is happening, why we care, what we can do.
Ivan says he's seen a lot of progress, but the issues of injustice and racial inequality aren't going to be fixed this year or even next year.
I do think, if nothing else, the fact that I think people have learned some history and some truths that maybe they didn't know before. They've learned that the way that I've always looked at the world may be vastly different than how a neighbor of mine that lives on the other side of town looks at the world, and that's progress.
Tracy Clemens, Fox 8 News.